My name's Paul Cornell. I write action comics for DC Comics. Currently the big thing in the Action Comics universe is issue 900. The only comic that's ever got to 900 apart from all those comics that have, but let's not talk about them. It's a dirty, great, huge 50 pages of lead story, and I mean 50 actual pages of story, which ends Lex Luthor's epic quest for power, the Dark Ring, and begins Superman's battle against Doomsday in the same story. It's a wonderful collision between the two. Pete Woods is drawing the hell out of it. It's going to be great. And I say that because I love what other people are doing. I'm not boasting at all. And from then on we go into the war with Doomsday, which is just a rock'em sock'em old-fashioned superhero versus the supervillain that killed him. Okay. I was really pleased to have Death in Action Comics. Basically, I sent Neil the script with some, kind of placeholder dialogue and said, what do you reckon? Do you want to change any of this? And he rewrote a lot of it.
Okay.
So a lot of her dialogue is his.
Okay.
And I couldn't be more pleased. That's what you're after, really, that kind of input. And it's wonderful to be able to, have her along, but have her as her creator intended. Well, the problem with the Doctor is exactly the problem with Superman. How do you hurt him? How do you make him vulnerable? And making him human was kind of obvious. The story is an adaptation of a Doctor Who novel I wrote in the 15 years between the end of the old show and the start of the new one. And I consciously thought, oh, we could do Superman too. Nobody's done that with the Doctor before. And that was the thought that became human nature. And it is the plot of Superman 2. He becomes human, he becomes vulnerable, he finds he can't stay that way. Well, it was wonderful. I was on set for a couple of occasions. When David wakes up in bed as John Smith in the pre-title sequence, he's looking straight at me, I'm standing at the end of his bed. I'm proud to say. And it was just wonderful. We had such a wonderful director and such a wonderful crew. Those actors are just a dream. Jessica Hines, my goodness. I mean, again, it's sort of taken from the book, in that little scene also happens in one of my later Doctor Who novels, where he goes to meet a descendant of hers, and he doesn't meet a descendant, he hears from a friend what she's doing nowadays. And I think it's wonderful to all Doctor Who fans want to contribute to Doctor Who history, and I feel I've done that, and it's lovely. Well, in the novel, John Smith writes fiction about the adventures of a Time Lord who travels in time and space. His unconscious expresses itself like that. It's a little hard to do the fiction on telly, so Russell said, write a diary. And actually I wrote loads of it. There's I'm enjoying this tremendously, can you tell? It's also the end of the day and I'm getting a little punchy. Paul Cornell, C2E2, thank you and good night.